one more big week, then I'll be
Good morning, everyone. This is Gina Buelow. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and I'm coming live from the Hive with my very first scrapbook class. Thank you for joining me this morning. Oops, I'm trying to read comments here. Chris, what do I push for comments? Okay, I think I got it. Good morning, Mary. Thank you for joining me. I think I've got things up and going good. Here we go. So who's excited to scrapbook? I am. I've been so excited. Once I created this class, I've been dying to get back scrapbooking. So excited to be here, and so let's get started. Okay, first we're gonna start with our paper. In your kits, you have your pack of 6x6 paper. You're gonna pull that out and you're gonna pick which designs that you want to use. I already have some paper that I've used to make my kits, so I'm gonna cut from that. Okay, so here are my designs. And then remember, your designs are front and back. So I'm using the fronts and the backs of some of these. Okay, so for our first page, this is what our first page looks like, and this is the one we're cutting for right now. So we're cutting our DSP right now. You need 8 strips that are 1.5 by 3. Good morning, Penny. Hi, Dan. So you'll need your trimmer. Pull your trimmer out. And we're just going to measure. So you have 6x6 paper, and we're going to measure a 1.5 inch strip. And then you're going to measure it by 3. So you have your little strip right here. I hope you guys, can you all see okay? Good morning, Vicki. So there's one of our strips. So like I said, just pick whichever designs you want. They don't have to be the same as mine. You're welcome to make this your own and pick whichever papers you like. So like I said, each one is 1.5 by 3. Oh gosh, I almost cut that wrong, guys. I got so excited, I got ahead of myself. That happens. I get so excited, and then I'm on camera, and I get all fumbled sometimes, so it's kind of funny. See, we all make mistakes sometimes. But I just love this paper. I love all the colors in it. Just bold, fun colors. You'll see me use a lot of bold colors. I love having color. You can see in my shirt today too, I've got tie-dye on. Let me see how many I got. I've got 3, I've got 4, so I'm halfway there. And you'll just put those scraps aside because we will use them for the next page when we cut. How's the weather by everyone today? It's going to be a hot one. By us today. I think it says it's supposed to be like 97 or something and over 100 with the heat index, so it'll be a day that we stay indoors most likely. Oh, Vicki, you're from Arizona. How's the weather over there? You guys have had a hot stretch there. And make sure too, when you are placing your paper, what direction the patterns are going. Depending how the pattern is going, you may want to change. If you want, I want more of a rainbow, so I'm going to cut it like this so I get more colors in my strip. So that's one thing you always have to be careful for. Had I cut the other way, if I had cut it this way, I would have just ended up with like the green and the yellow, where this way I'll have the green through the blue in this one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 pieces. I think I cut 7, but I had an extra one over here. So you're gonna get 2 of these same exact strips when you cut your 1.5 inch strips. So you have 8 pieces of 1.5 by 3. Ooh, 102, Vicki. Florida 96, heat index 108. Wow, sounds like the country is gonna be quite warm. Okay, and then the next thing we're gonna cut for our next layout, since we're cutting, and then we can put the trimmer away, we're gonna cut these strips that go all the way around here. So those are a little bit smaller, and they are 1 by 3. So this, whatever strips you have left over that we cut like this, you can just cut them down already. Oops. And you need 16 of these. Okay, and then put those scraps aside because there is another project that you can do. I realize I did not put that when I emailed those of you who signed up for the class. I forgot to put the bonus project on there, which was a card that I actually made. I was live, I did it, I don't remember the date. But I'll show you that card when we're done, and you can use those scraps to create that card. And while I'm cutting here, I just want to remind everyone, we have the bonus day coupons. You have until the end of the month to use those up. So you only have about a week, a little over a week. I think next week, Thursday, is the end of the month to use those up. So don't forget to use those. And then I still have strips over here, so I'm going to go back and grab some more. I'm going to cut 1 inch. By 3. So now you have 2 of them here. Oops. My trimmer keeps sticking here. Is anyone creating this as we are making the scrapbook layout right now, or are you all just kind of following along and seeing what you have to do? I know I like to watch videos first and then go back, replay them. Thank you, Carmen, for sharing. I really appreciate that. So we're almost done with our cutting here. Okay, so I believe we have all of our strips cut. I'll just double check real quick. Oh, I must have missed 1 or 2. One, two, three, 4. Okay, here we go. So now we have all of our cutting done. So it looks like most of you are watching, so I hope you remember to go back and create now. I've got a couple tips in here. I hope I explained them okay. Penny, you keep changing your wish list. I know, that's the problem. Someone does something and you get all excited and you're like, ooh, I didn't think of that. That wasn't on my list. And then it's, well, now it's on my gotta have list. I get that. So that's it for cutting for this. That's all you have to do. Everything else then in your kits were sent cut, and all the instructions for the rest. There's cutting for mats, and that's pretty much it, and die cuts. So hi Angela. So here we go. Now what I like to do is kind of lay out my pattern. How do I want my pattern to be? You could have all pattern like this. You can flip them over so you have different colors with a pattern, just like this. Let's see. We'll do another pattern, a solid, a pattern, and a solid. So here we go. Here's our pattern. So I just did basically a pattern, a solid. You could do all pattern, you could do all solid. You could also just take plain cardstock to create this look too. It doesn't have to be DSP, but it can be any DSP. It doesn't have to be the specific DSP. So then we can just adhere our strips to the bottom of our white 12 by 12 cardstock. It's nice because you can follow the bottom edge and line things up pretty easily. And the nice thing with using some liquid glue, you do have a little bit of wiggle room before it's completely dry. So if you need to shift things a little bit, you still have some time to do that. And you don't need much. I'm probably putting on more than I really need, but that's okay. As long as it's not oozing out, we're good. But there's some really cool patterns in here. I'm excited to create some cards. I haven't done many cards with this yet, so I'm excited to play around with that. Actually, I'm going to see more of the blue and the green because we have some fringe to go along with this. Okay, pretty simple, right? I must have cut something a little bit bigger. That's okay though, because all you have to do is flip your paper over, and I just take my scissors, just like this, and I trim off the excess there. Hi, Carol. What size are those? I'm assuming, Mary, you mean the strips here. They are 1.5 by 3. So if you did like a long piece of cardstock or a long piece of DSP, it would be 12 by 3. But these sizes here are 1.5 by 3. Okay, so this is the stamp set and the framelits we are using. We're using the beautiful balloon suite. I did minimal stamping, so I'll show you that in a moment. And these are the framelits we use. So there's fringe pieces, and I used this framelit to create the fringe pieces. And I did 2 colors here. I used Lemon Lolly and Berry Burst. Like I said, I love the bold colors. I'm excited for this. So it's got this cool little fringe. We used to have scissors that gave you this cool fringe look. So, and a tip when you're cutting this, if you want to make sure to cut all the way through, make sure you line up your paper like this so it doesn't go all the way to the edge. If it doesn't, it only cuts the lines. It doesn't actually cut out the whole strip here. It only cuts the little line. So you make sure when you line it up, you line up your paper like that. I don't know if you can tell on the camera. So some of the lines, it doesn't meet, if you go over like this, it won't cut all the way through. You want to move it back a little bit if you want it cut all the way through. And then we use some of the balloons, the stars, the confetti, too. So the next thing we do is we're going to adhere our fringe pieces together. So we have the lemon and the berry burst. And what I do is I just put, what color do I want on top? Maybe I'll do, you can do either way. You can put berry burst on top or you can do lemon lolly. I just put a little glue right above the fringe. Actually, here we go. And your pieces might be longer than the other, but we will trim that. I just wanted to make sure you guys had enough going all the way across. So I did make some a little bit longer. And you do that to all 3 pieces. And don't worry about the seams here. You won't even see that because we're going to cover that with ribbon. And make sure that you line your fridges up so that you have the same amount. I just realized I didn't have the same amount here, so we'll do that. And then I'm going to just butt up my scissors again to the edge of the yellow and trim off. Penny, I've been saving photos for years to scrapbook, never knew where to start. Ah, that's the hardest part, is where do you start? You get so overwhelmed with all of the photos that you have. What I always say is just find something, anything, a birthday, a Christmas, something. When you look through your photos, you sit and you smile. The photos that make you smile are the ones you should scrapbook, you know, especially now that we live in a digital era and everything is on our phones. We have 10 pictures of the same thing. Find the one, find the best one of each one and use that as your photo. Okay, so now we have our 3 pieces, right? So we're gonna start on this end, and what I'm doing is I'm actually only going to place glue down through here, so down on the berry burst along this edge here. I don't want glue up here necessarily because our mats are going to tuck under a little bit. So I don't want to adhere these completely down and not have any wiggle room with my mats. And I place it just so that it's covering a little bit of the DSP. So I probably have a 1/4 of an inch over my DSP. And then line them up going across. Okay. There we go. Then I have this extra section here. I'm just going to cut it off. And there we go. Easy, right? Just putting strips down. The next thing we're gonna do is we're going to find our mats. So you have 3 mat pieces right here. They are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So they're gonna leave you a 1/4 inch border, and then this is where you would put your photo on. So your traditional 4 by 6 photo. And what I like to do is do my outer edges, and you come pretty close and I angle them. You could put them straight on if you'd like, but I angle them, and I pretty much am going right up to the edge here. And you can see I have a little gap here, but then I'm touching the edge over here. And same on this side. And make sure your heights are even or even-ish. If you want, you could stagger them more. Completely up to you. So we're gonna do that. And then this one will get tucked. Not quite tucked, but it'll be like that. Okay, so we'll glue these down, and then our middle one we're gonna pop up. And this is why we didn't glue them all the way down, because these mats are tucked in. So they're just under. Now you can go back through and glue this. You can add a strip of glue there. But I didn't want to do that until I got my photos in here. Does that look pretty even to you guys? Okay. Then what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to put some glue down here because I'm going to tuck this one. But then I am going to take some dimensionals and add them to the top just to give it a little bit of dimension on our page. And if you can't get the dimensionals off, a great little trick is to use your take your pick tool and the little pointed end, just kind of stab it into the dimensional at an angle, and it should pull them right up. And then they're all on the end of your, take your pick tool, and you can just take them like this and put them in the garbage.
In the garbage, not on the floor.
Yeah, in the garbage, not on the floor. It's funny, we've had retreats before back in hotels and stuff like that, and it's funny, when Chris did her very first escape, you would go in the ladies' room and you would see these trickle of dimensionals like walking in the hallway and in the bathroom. It's kind of funny. Okay, so now all you need are to put your photos down on here. So the next thing we'll do is we're going to take our ribbon. There were 2 ribbons that I used. I think it's called natural, not white, but it really looks white. And that's gonna go, so you have your fringe and then you have this solid spot here. This strip here is 1.5 by 4. So that is the fringe strips. Each one of these is 1.5 by 4. And your seams are covered up by your ribbon, so you don't even see the seams. And you need about 12.5 inches or so, just enough to wrap around the edges. And I like to use tear and tape for ribbon. I think that holds your ribbon the best. And what I do is I flip my paper over and take my end, make sure I have it up correctly. I take my end and I put my piece of tear tape over my ribbon. Then I take and I pull it taut, flip it over, wrap my ribbon around, and then place my tear tape over the top. And And then I'm peeling off the backing on that. This is where you could use your take your pick tool also. And then we use the really pretty shimmery, let's see if I got enough on this roll. I do, just enough. And we're gonna place that in the center. I've got a little extra here. I could probably use it for one of my balloons. And we'll flip our paper over. Make sure our ribbon sticks. Sorry guys, I brought it down close to me. You couldn't see what I was doing. Flip it over, and then I'm just gonna lay another piece on. The piece I ripped off wasn't quite long enough. And then I will actually keep the backing on this time, and that'll cover up any stickiness on the back here, so that when you put it in your scrapbook page or you put another page up against it in your album, it won't stick together. Okay? Easy, right? Anyone have any questions so far? Is everyone following along okay? I print my ribbon on crooked, guys. We'll just pull that up. And reline it back up. Okay, there we go. So now what I'm gonna do is, oh, and you wanna make sure, I didn't make sure, I can't, the way I'm doing this, I make sure you're covered up down here. Make sure your thing is tucked. I didn't have it quite tucked. Okay, now this is an optional thing. If you have the stamp set, the Bright and Beautiful stamp set, there is a streamer in here. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to add it with some Lemon Lolly and some Azure Afternoon. And I'm actually going to turn my page upside down just because it's easier for me to stamp. Now you could, instead of stamping, you could add a title here if you wanted. You could do whatever you wanted. You can stamp some confetti. I think in your kits I have a little bit extra, oh, what am I looking for? What word? Oh, confetti. So you can add some more confetti. Okay, we'll stamp that off, clean off our stamp, and we'll do the same thing in the Azure Afternoon. Got a little bit of tinsel from our ribbon on there. Looks kind of pretty, actually. So, let's see. We'll do it like that. And make sure you ink up the entire stamp, not just part of it. That's what I almost did right there. And almost did it again. And because this is a photopolymer stamp, I can go back over the top. I missed this little corner right there. There we go. So what are we thinking so far? Okay, so now is basically the time you've added your photos, you have your mats down. We're gonna flip our page back around and we're gonna add some of just finishing touches. So in your kits, where's my kit? Right here. I put a little baggie, hopefully so that none of the little pieces got lost in here. And you're gonna see this is the outline for your happy birthday. But I'm looking for these pieces right here. There's a balloon, a star, and a smaller balloon. We're gonna put those on, but the first thing we're gonna do is use our parakeet shimmer ribbon, and we're gonna add some little ribbons to the back of these. And all I do with these is I use some glue dots. So I just go like this on the ends, place my glue dot, like that. And then you're gonna cut 3 little strips and place them on your balloons. So we're making little streamers for our balloons. So my question to everyone, does anyone ever actually completed an entire scrapbook? I know we have all the intentions. Sometimes you want to complete an entire scrapbook, but I think I only have actually 2 completely finished. I have pages here and there, but I don't have, I think I only have 2 that are actually 100% completed. Okay, now is where I'm gonna bring in my wink of Stella. Now you could Stella up your whole balloons. You could, I'm going to add stripes and polka dots because I think that'll just be fun. So I'm just taking my wink of Stella. You don't need to have a straight line. These are just balloons. And do that, and I'm gonna take and place some polka dots. You don't have to, you could leave these plain. You could emboss them also, just to add some texture. And we'll sparkle up our whole star. Okay, we're done with that. So I'm gonna add some dimensionals to the back. Actually, the purple one I'm actually just going to glue down just the way it is, and then we'll pop up the other 2. So we're gonna lay him like that. I'll actually place 1 tiny dimensional. Mary, you have lots of vacays. You gotta start scrapbooking them. We gotta stop keeping everything on our phones. That's what I find that I have gotten in the bad habit of not printing out photos, and you know, you just keep them on your phone and you don't actually print anything. Well, no one can appreciate all those beautiful photos you took if they're just sitting on our phones. Anyone have any ways that they like to organize their photos? Anything that is that they find as helpful or useful? I go through and I either use a shoebox or I'll place my star over a little bit more. A shoebox, and sometimes then I will use index cards and I will write on them to separate my photos. I've also done I think at Joann's or maybe Hobby Lobby, they have these larger bins, and then they have individual little cases inside of them that fit photos in, and I've done that, and they're all different colors, or you can get clear ones, and I've done that too. And separated some of my photos out that way. And the nice thing about those containers too is if you're going someplace and you're gonna scrapbook, you can just grab that little thing and it's all in that nice little box there. Photo boxes, I use those too, Mary, and do the same thing with those as I do a shoebox, and I'll put index cards to kind of label what it is and kind of put the year on it. I try to be good about that, but sometimes life happens and it doesn't get that far. So then I'm just going to use a glue dot here and place it underneath this middle one, and then I'm going to bring this one over. I'll need another glue dot, and I'll place this one over like that. I'm actually going to cut this third one off so you don't see it dangling, and then we're going to make a little bow with our bow maker. Here it is. How many of you have a bow maker?
Tell them they're for sale. I have them for sale.
Chris has them for sale. How much are they, Chris?
They're $8 plus shipping.
$8 plus shipping.
But
So
if
it's
they go in a card class, it's only like $2 for shipping, but if they go by themselves, it's $5 for shipping.
okay. Say that again.
Okay, so they're $8.
They're $8,
And if you get them with a card class mailed,
and if you get them with a card class mailed,
it's just $2 extra for shipping.
it's usually just $2 extra for shipping.
But if you mail it by itself,
But
it's $6.
It's $6 if they're mailed by themselves. For shipping. So it's always a better deal when you can package as many things together at once to ship. So it comes with these little holes to make different sizes, and then you can just put your nails, they're just nails, in the holes to make whatever size bow you want. But it makes a really nice
I would make
bow.
bows if I didn't have that.
Yeah, Chris would make bows probably if she didn't have it. I would to a degree, but I probably wouldn't do any tiny ones. They'd have to be big ribbons. So all you do is place, I don't know if you guys can see this, okay. So here are your two nails, and I've wrapped it around the two nails, and then you cross it over. Then you're going to take this piece, go in between the two nails, and wrap it over, and then tie it in a knot. I'm actually going to cut my end off because it's easier that way. And then you just tie it. Simple, easy. It does take some getting used to. I will say for a little bit, it did take me. What am I doing with this?
There's a YouTube video on it.
Chris did a YouTube video on it, so if you want to check it out, you can go through her files in her YouTube and check it out. And then I just put this little guy on my little glue dot. And there you go. Trim my ends. Whatever size you want them, if you want them long, short. So I have even ends here. I feel like that looked better than having 5 ends. That's why I cut that middle one just kind of off. I just felt like it looked awkward. So there you go. And then we're gonna add up here. In your bag, you have some smaller balloons and a star in here, and there's some little baby stars and confetti in here. So you can add those wherever you would like. Just add a little bit of glue. We'll put him here. We'll add our other star here. I'm going to pull out a few stars all I do to glue these is I just put a little glue dot right there and stick it down. That's all I do. Everything's sticking to me. It's a little warm today. And, you know, I'm a little nervous being on video camera, so everything is sticking. Okay. You can also use your take your pick tool. Take this end here, it has a little bit of sticky to pick up your items. And just like that. Okay? So that's it for this page. This page is done. You could take your week of Stella, of course, and add some Stella to that, those balloons and stars. You could change this. It wouldn't have to be a happy birthday layout. It could be a celebration. You could change this up, and instead of balloons, and if you had different DSP, you could do like flowers, or fall is coming up, so you could add fall leaves here instead. Lots of different options. And then our final thing to add to the page are, of course, some of the tinsel gems. So you each got a little strip of this, and I just use my scissors and I grab it like that to place. You can also use your take your pick tool, and we're just going to place these randomly on our pages here. Where do I want this one, guys? I'll put it right here. Put one up there. Put one right there. There you go, one page all done. What do you guys think? Now I need to put some photos in here, right? That's my next job. Find the photos that go in here. Okay, on to page 2. Okay, page 2, we cut those pieces already. I got a little mess here. I gotta sort things out. Okay, we had these strips that we cut right away. You need 16 of them. And in those 16, we're going to place those around the edge. So here is our page. Right here. So we're going to glue them strips all the way around. Now your corner pieces are going to hang over. The sizes that I had here, this was just the easiest way to do this. So your ends are going to stick out in all of your corners. That was just what made sense, and if I did it in the corners, then all the corners kind of look the same. You don't have to do it this way. If you want to lay each piece around a different way, you can do that too, but this is what I did. So we need our second sheet of 12 by 12 white. Now I will try to stick to a pack of 12 by 12 paper, whether it's white or if we get neutrals or regals, and try to use those colors all at once versus making you get all different packs of the 12 by 12, just to make it easier. Try to use up what we have in each pack. I haven't gotten everything done yet for the next few classes, so I still have to work on if we'll do white sheets, or if I'll go through and say, you'll need neutrals for that one, or brights, or whatever. So when I get that figured out, I will let you all know. So I'm just gonna lay these around my edge here. And what pattern? I'll do that. I feel like I need some green. Where's my green? Okay, well, we'll work with what we got here. Let's see. We'll place another pink one, another stripe, a blue. We'll do our stars. Let's see, we'll do this one. And we'll do that. There we go. Easy. We just laid it out, kind of did a pattern, did a solid, did a pattern, did a solid, followed that same scheme. And as you can see, these corners are a little bit longer. Now, I am just placing this down here for placement on this one. You're actually not going to glue this one yet. You're going to start here and glue this one first. This is just here as a holding spot, a way to measure where your DSP should go. So make sure you've got it lined up good on your edges. And then you're going to take, can you guys all see? Okay, you're gonna take and line this piece up right here along the edge. And that's how you get your starting point. So now this can stay where it is for now. And then we're gonna go around the edge, and this will actually be the last piece that we glue on. So what does everyone have planned today? It sounds like it's going to be hot everywhere. So what's everyone going to do to stay cool? I think we are going to stay inside. I have lots of stamping to do, lots of creating to do. I have an album almost finished. I'm pretty excited. It'll actually be an album with photos. I will be doing a Memories and More class. I believe, I have to double check, but I believe it's the 22nd. It's a Friday evening. We are using the new Cheery Bears. I believe it's called Cheery Bears. If it's not, correct me someone. It's a cute polar bear stamp set and punch, and they have adorable paper and Memories More pack with it. So we're gonna do a whole album using that set. Look at all the paper sticking to me. With that, and then we're gonna create a few cards with whatever is left over from that. So I'm pretty excited about that. And it'll be a great album you can keep for yourself and put photos in, or it'll make a nice holiday Christmas present for someone. I'm pretty excited. So I hope you will all join me for that one. And then I have to finish up what September is going to be. We're going to be doing a fall scrapbook page for that one. So I'm just following around the edges. Oh, Mary, you're staying cool in the basement crafting. That's awesome. What are you working on, Mary? Will you be doing your scrapbook page? Or are you working on some holiday stuff from the new catalog? I just dropped a piece, guys. Where did it go? It's always right in front of you, I find, when you're crafting. You go and lose something, you can't find your scissors or your, berry, not cherry bear, it's Berry Christmas is the name of the set. Thank you, Carol, for that. Still working on remembering what all the names of all the new products are. Anybody else having a chance to craft today? I hope to get a lot accomplished. We'll see. I have some teenagers that I'll probably have to entertain too, so we'll see if I can maybe get them involved today. My daughter is usually really great about helping me with stuff like this. My son, on the other hand, he'd rather play video games. But it's good mother-daughter time too. We get to bond that way. Okay, that's my corner piece. I feel like I lost a piece. Wow. Where did it go? That's the question, guys. Right here, right in front of me. Ooh, swaps for the Autumn Escape. I'm pretty excited. Who else here is attending the Autumn Escape? Anybody else? Now, our final piece here, I am just going to glue like that. You don't have to, you can glue it like we glued all the other one. There we go. So the hardest part is probably just gluing your strips down. The rest is easy, I promise. Mary, grandkids went back to school. Oh my. We've had some of our private schools. They started yesterday and today. My kids actually don't start till after Labor Day, so not till the 5th. So I get them for a couple more weeks. So now I flipped my page over, and those tails on the corner, I'm just going to cut those off. Just take my scissors, butt it up to the 12 by 12 paper, and just snip those little ends off. Carol, you'll be working on cards. Yay. I think today is one of those perfect days with it being fairly warm out. It's kind of like in the middle of winter. When it's too cold out, what should you do? Craft, right? Okay, here we go. Most of our layout is, you're attending on Saturday. Yay, Deanne. I think I will be popping in, so I might see you. I will be presenting on Friday. We'll be talking about scrapbooking. So, I haven't decided yet. Does anyone have any questions, like a technique they want to see, or questions they have about scrapbooking? For any of those attending the escape, let me know. I'll be presenting that. For those of you that are just watching, your current customers and whatnot, and you're just watching this, if you have any questions, something you'd like to see in an up and coming class, let me know. Send me a message. What would you like to learn? Help me out here, and I'll help you out. How's that sound? So if you give me ideas what you'd like to see, we'll go from there. The next few months we will be focused kind of on the holiday catalogs, so that's where my focus will be. Tian, you're so funny. You know, we get spoiled here at these escapes because we have Miss Janet who comes in and she spoils us with all this food. So, of course, I'll be stopping in to get some goodies, I'm sure. So now you have your outline saying. So I have happy birthday here. This is from the Just Wanted to Say dies. I don't know what I did with mine. I couldn't find them this morning. I may have left them here the other day when I did something. Not sure, or it's on my mess of crafting table. So I just put a little bit of liquid glue in the bigger spots. You don't have to put glue on the entire word, and I'm going to adhere that to the outline. I think in those dies it has happy birthday, celebrate, just wanted to say, and there might be another one or two sayings that are in there in that set. But it's just a nice little set of word dies. The great thing about the escapes is a great time for me to kind of put faces with names. You know, sometimes we see each other on screen by our conversations, but we don't often have a face to go with that. So I love when the creative escapes come around because we gather from all over, and you, like I said, you can put some faces and names together. So that's really great. Let's see. So the next thing we have, you have 4 mats in here. They are 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So we have 4 of them. Now, a paper saving tip. Take your dies, and this is just a mat, so this is going to be covered with your photo. So that is where the happy birthday came from. Happy birthday was cut out of the center of here. We're going to cover that with a photo so you won't even know, and this way you're saving some paper versus cutting another strip and having to cut that out. So with that, we are going to lay these out, center them the best you can. You could put them all together if you wanted to, but I like to center them. We're just eyeballing this, so it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's the great thing about homemade is you're going to find them to not be completely perfect, and that is absolutely okay. So now we'll just adhere down our mats. Hi, Pauline. Welcome. Glad you can make it. Whoa, this slid away from me for a second there. And I always have to hold things up. That's how I look to see if they're straight, is I kind of just hold them up and make sure they look okay from there. And now remember, we're not gonna place glue here. And remember, when you're putting your photo down, because you have that cutout there, you're not going to want to put glue necessarily all the way there. If you put your photos on, I would, if I were, it had photos, I would put my photos down and then the squares. But I don't have photos yet. I have photos, trust me. I have thousands and thousands of photos. My phone is telling me I'm out of storage on my phone because I have so many photos on there. So I have been working on getting some of those printed and cleared out so I can take more. Okay, and then in your kit, you also had a die cut of a balloon bouquet. So that is where our saying's gonna go on. But just like the other page, I'm gonna put 3 glue dots on here. Just like that, and we're going to add 3 of our parakeet ribbon. We're going to add 3 strips, just like we did to the previous page. Oh, my glue dot stayed on my scissors, not on my paper. Haha. And you can make your strings as long or as short as you want. Okay, we're going to put some dimensionals because everything's better when you pop it, right? And I'm kind of just putting them on the edges here because our sentiment is also going to get popped up on top of this. And I don't want to add too much bulk in one area. Okay, and we'll just place it like this in the center of our, and of course I'm going to go through with my Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to add some more stripes. I probably should have done this before I put it down so I didn't get it on my mats, but in your case you'll have photos, so I guess I'll be hiding it. So once again too, we're going to gather our strips together. I'm going to use a glue dot. And I'm just going to lift up this balloon here so I can tuck the ribbon underneath it a little bit. I guess I should have cut these a little bit longer. That's okay. And we're going to use our bow maker again and make a bow. Remember to cross them over, it goes over the top and around. And if anyone needs a bow maker, Chris has some for sale, so reach out to her if you need one. They are great. Great, easy way to make a bow. Especially little tiny ones. I find the little tiny ones are harder to make. And I'm going to cut these ones a little bit shorter so that it kind of matches up with my short ones here. And since this one is shredded, I'm going to kind of take the ribbon here on the ends and kind of shred it a little bit. I shouldn't say shred it, but spread it apart, and you get kind of that tinsely look. Really rolled tinsel all over Chris's desk here, and so she doesn't forget about me. That way she misses me. Now we're going to take our seine, add a few dimensionals, and some of this will hang off the edge of the balloon, so you want to make sure that they're more kind of centered than on the edges, because your edges will hang off of the balloon. Probably gonna find these backings on my shirt later today, sticking to me. There we go. Oh, and one thing you could have done before you glued down is you could have added more Stella. Wonderful, Carol, you just ordered the class. Great. And if anyone is looking, I still have 2 of these sets available, so feel free to reach out and let me know if you would like an extra kit, or if you didn't get one and you would like one, let me know. There we go, because I believe a little sparkle just adds a little something to our page. Then we're going to pull out our little bag of goodies again. And I will add some Wink of Stella on them before I actually glue them down. That's a good idea, right guys? Stella them up really good. Get some sparkle going on. You can make a mess this way. Okay. So I'm going to stick my star. I'm going to use a little, no, I think I'm going to tuck it under. I'm going to tuck it under a little bit. Like that. And our balloon, I will pop up. We'll stick him down here in the corner. I think we'll keep him, well, I'm not going to put him on. I don't feel like he fits there. So we have our little confettis. So I'll put a little star here. Wants to stick to me instead of the paper. And we're going to take this star. He's upside down here, so I got to flip him around. Put him here. And we'll take this little piece of confetti and glue him right here. And I think we're good. We just need to add our tinsel gems for the last little bit of sparkle. They're right here in front of me, guys. Where did I put them? Right here. Okay, I'll put a blue one here. Let's see. Maybe a pink one on here. And, oh, and we gotta do our balloons here, right? They need a little bit of sparkle. There we go. What do we think? What other blues would work? I believe you could probably use, let's see, this is Azure Afternoon. You could probably, I think this is Blueberry Bushel. You could maybe even use Night of Navy with this. That would be another blue. Maybe Misty Moonlight, I'm not sure, but I think in this color pack, I think it is Azure Afternoon and Blueberry Bushel. So those would be other options you could use, Mary. Does anyone have any other questions for me? Not seeing anything. Okay, so that is it. So here are our 2 scrapbook pages. Here's the second one we did, and here is the first one. Pretty fun. And you could change this up if you feel like this looks too girly. You could do blue, you could do green and keep it more neutral. I feel like it is neutral for the most part because there's so many colors going on. I believe Lost Lagoon is one of the colors in here. You could do more Lemon Lolly in here. And like I said, I was thinking of doing another layout just like this, but my oldest son graduated high school, and I was going to do the same exact layout, but in our school colors are maroon, so I was going to do maroon, black and white, and then we have the acetate that has the confetti on it in silver and gold. So I was going to make a layout just like that using those colors and the word celebrate. Unfortunately, I ran out of time and was not able to do that. Just so you could see what it would look like in a completely different colors, but still see the same exact layout and see how different they look using different colors. So those are our layout. Now, we had these extra strips left over, and I did a video, I forget what day it was. You can go back and look in Christine's YouTube channel. Let me see if I can find what date. It was on the 9th of September, and I had these extra strips, and I said, oh, what can I do with these? So I created a card that mimics our scrapbook page. So for those of you who ordered the class, you will actually get the instructions for this too. So same exact concept. I used some strips again. They're a little bit smaller, but same concept. Use the strips, use the fringe, added the ribbon, balloons, saying, and then I embossed one of the mats here. So this is a great way to see how you can use your cards for a scrapbook page and a scrapbook page for a card. See how versatile they are. Sometimes, you look at a card and go, well, how can I use this with a scrapbook page? Because the scrapbook page is so much bigger. Well, you're just going to do it in a bigger scale. So this was your inspiration, or my inspiration that I got from my scrapbook page. And I'll be doing that every month too. I'll be making a card along with the scrapbook page so that they kind of are incorporating either the same techniques or style or something like that. And the next class that I have coming up is, I'm really excited, I just made these. We're going to be playing with the new decorative mask that came out in the holiday catalog. And on Monday, I was actually live and I did a video with this card. So this is using the mask. There's 4 different styles. So there's a leaf one, and that's what I used for this. So we used ink on here, but we also ran it through our embossing machine to give it an embossed look. So we have that card that we did, and that one's already done, so you can watch the video for that. But then I will be showing you the next 3 cards. So this is one of the masks. What is it? Houndstooth, I believe, is the pattern. And then we have a cool snowflake background. And then they have these layered sunflowers. So there's your sunflower image. Can you guys see this? Sunflower, and then there's 2 different ones for the centers. There's like a solid one, and then a little more detailed, and then the leaves that go with it. So this class is going to show you different ways to emboss and how to use these masks. So we have the leaf card. Then we have, this is the sunflower. Can anyone guess the colors? I asked people to guess the colors when I did this class. I showed these cards. It's kind of fun. I went and put this color combination together to get this look, because the darker color is not maybe what you would think it is. So we have this with the stencils, and I also showed, I did the same exact stencils, but then I ran an embossing folder over the top of it. So it gives you a completely different look doing the same thing. And then them bones, I'm excited. This is my suite that I will be displaying at the Creative Escape. I will be using them bones. That's my display. So This we heat emboss with the houndstooth stencil. And then our final one, we created a watercolor background, and then we used the shimmer paste to use over the snowflake stencils. So this is the next class coming up. This class, RSVP by next week, Tuesday, the 29th of August. And then the class will be live on Friday, September 8th at 5 o'clock. And then I will be live on the 6th, the Wednesday, with another scrapbook card creation. So I need to go home and create those today. That's my job. So thank you all so much for joining me. If you guys want, you can follow me on Glitter and Ink with Gina. Please follow my page, like, comment, share. If anyone needs anything, any supplies for either of these classes, this is my current host code. I'm not sure if Chris has any more left, but as of Monday, she still had the samplers. She had a few extra of the samplers. So if anybody wants any of the DSP samplers, you could reach out to her and see if she has any extras. And I think, oh, I got this cute guy too. I think this is going to be the next technique class. We're gonna do some 3D things. So I made this cute little guy. I love this Frankenstein. I think it's called Tricks and Treats is the stamp set. And so I'm excited to work with this too. I love Halloween, I love fall, but most of all I love fall. The colors, the change in the seasons, the crisp air. So I'm excited. So now I need to get myself together here and get crafting a little bit. So anyways, thank you all for joining me so much today. I really appreciate it. I hope this inspires you to get out your photos and start scrapbooking. And I forgot to flip the camera over. So thank you once again for joining me. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you guys live in a couple weeks for sure. So anyways, if you have any questions in the meantime, please reach out to me. Those of you who got the class, check your emails. In there is the tutorial for you. There's a link that you can click on and you'll find all the instructions. You can print them out at home and follow along that way along with my video, but you'll have all the dimensions for everything that you need there. So once again, thank you so much.